Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, today we are going to discuss, we are going to start our first class of M.Ed, right? So, this is the orientations lecture. So, of semester one, M.Ed. So, guys, in a M.Ed, there are, six papers. These are the six papers, okay, in your M.Ed. So, you can see the papers. The number one is Psychology of Learning and Development. Second is History and Political Economy of Education. Third is Educational Studies. And fourth is Research, Educational Introductions to Research Methods. Right? These are your four papers. These are the theory papers. Okay. So exams would happen in the month of March. Okay. Your session has started. So I have started the classes on the YouTube also. So whosoever can take the benefit of these classes. So guys, the syllabus of M.Ed is same across the country, right? So, but I'm discussing with the syllabus according to the latest syllabus of Kurukshetra University, right? And the first semester exam would start in the month of March. So we have the 5 or 6 months, right? So there are four papers and two practical papers, right? Fifth paper and sixth paper are the practical papers. And every paper having the 100 marks, right? As you can see, theory papers are of the 100 marks, right? So later on we will discuss. Okay, now it is recorded lecture. Okay, so you can mute yourself, all of you. Okay, when I finish the lecture, then you can discuss with me, right, guys? So it is going to be on the YouTube, right? So there are four papers and two practical papers. Okay, guys, four papers are of the 100 marks. You can see theory is 70 marks and 30 is the internal marks. Huh? As you are aware of that, 70 marks theory paper would come. Paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? Fifth and sixth are of 25 marks and 25 marks. Right, guys? So kindly you can mute yourself, all of you. Thank you. Now I'm going to open my second PPT. Just see this PPT, guys. In the first PPT, briefly, I told the paper name. Hana? I discussed the paper name, four paper name. Now, what is the current syllabus? This is your current syllabus. Sometimes on the internet and from anywhere, okay, guys, this is the current syllabus basically, according to your this session, right? You can see that. Even I will share this PPT with you. Okay, your detailed syllabus, I have made the PPT, right? Books are mostly, little bit old, okay, but every after 2 years, after 3 years, and sometime after 1 year, university updates little bit syllabus, little bits updations, right, guys? So this is your latest syllabus. Okay, don't worry, I will send this PPT to you. This is the detailed syllabus, current syllabus, okay, which would come in the first semester. So you can see that paper 1 is Psychology of Learning and Development, right? Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4. Okay. In the first paper having the 4 unit. Similarly, in the second paper, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4. Okay. This is the third paper, Educational Studies, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. The fourth paper, Introductions to Research Method, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4. Okay. So, guys, you have to consider this syllabus as the, current syllabus. Okay. In your books, whatever the books you have purchased, okay, or got, on the first page, syllabus is mentioned. But guys, that syllabus is the old syllabus. This is the current syllabus. Okay. So I will share with you. Okay. So next, what is the schedule of my classes? So this is the schedule of my M.Ed classes. Please see and note, all of you. Every Sunday we'll take the class 6 to 7. Okay. Later on, if anybody is absent, okay, you can see my lecture on the YouTube. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. So guys, what we will do that there are four papers, four theory papers. Okay. We'll start our classes from paper one and paper four first. Okay. Means every Sunday, I will take the, one or two lectures of paper one or one or two lectures of paper four. Why? Because paper second and paper third are, some are the common part. The second paper and the third paper. Educational studies and history and political. And second one is. So that's why we'll move from paper one and paper four. Okay. 70 marks theory, you can see that 30 are internal marks, right? What are the services? I'll provide you the lecture PPT of every class. You will get on my YouTube. Okay. All of the student across India. Then notes PDF of every class you will get from my Telegram channel, or I'll send you, don't worry. The third one, see that in the last, when we will finish the paper, right? There are four paper. When we will finish the each paper, I will provide you the complete notes or PDF of the respective paper, which is covering everything. Okay, guys. Next, we'll take the test also, online test also. Okay, just for your, whatever have you prepared, whatever you have prepared. Then after that, before the final exam, semester one, I will conduct the doubt session classes. Okay, it can be one-to-one or in the batch also, right? And guys, I will provide you the last year solved paper also. You can get from my Telegram channel or I'll send you. And last May, we will discuss the exam preparation classes, right? So, as you know that we will discuss our, paper one and paper four, right? So, I'm going to start the paper first. The topic is educational psychology, right, guys? So, side by side, I open the syllabus. Okay, this is our syllabus. Just see it, right? Psychology of learning and development. Today, I will discuss Unit 1, the first chapter. Okay. Relationship of education and psychology, meaning and concept of educational psychology, scope of educational psychology, and the second chapter, concept and growth of development, general principles of growth and development, physical development, social, emotional, intellectual development in adolescent, right? So from first and second, we'll discuss, topics, right? So when we will discuss this topic now, then I will put the, as a red so that we'll come to know what, we have covered, right? So I'm going to close this PPT and start today's lecture, educational psychology, right? So before it, educational psychology, right? You should know about the psychology. What is psychology? Actually, earlier, psychology is derived from the two words. One is psyche and second is logos. The meaning of psyche is soul and logo means science. Then psychology was defined earlier, many years back. It was defined as a science of soul. But what happened? Nobody saw the soul. So this definition discarded, right? Again, someone psychologist said that psychology is the science of a consciousness, but nobody aware of the consciousness. So many definitions of psychology discarded. After that, in 1905, William McDougall defined the very scientific and observable definition of psychology, that is, psychology is a science of behavior. Psychology as the science of behavior. Even Skinner, one of the psychologists, has said that psychology is the science of behavior and experience. Now, according to the Drever, behavior is classified into the three categories. What are the three categories? One is cognitive behavior. Second is cognitive behavior. Third is affective behavior. Right? So cognitive behavior means, it includes the, skilled thinking power, knowledgeable. Basically, it is related with the intellectual level, right? Cognitive behavior. Second is cognitive. Cognitive means it is, related with the, digging, swimming. Okay. Well, you have seen the person, one learns the swimming music on the spot, and, other takes a lot of time to learn. Third is effective behavior. Effective is related with the emotions, sentiments, right? You have seen that many persons, they are very much emotional. Okay. They don't go for the logic. So, what I want to say that or what the driver wants to say that these, we all persons on this planet, we are having of these all the three behaviors have irrespective of dominance of one or two, right? Means some having the more cognitive behavior, less cognitive and effective behavior. Some having the more effective behavior, less cognitive and cognitive, right? So on that case, that persons would be more emotional. Okay. So such kind of a behavior exists. And guys, these are also called the three domains of learning. These are called the three domains of learning: cognitive behavior, cognitive and effective behavior, right? Bloom has said that, right? Three domains of behavior. Why we are doing the B.Ed or M.Ed? We are doing the B.Ed or M.Ed to become the teacher and principal. And what is our job? Our job is to, you know, in the, if I talk about the teaching, so teaching means stimulating the learning power of the student, right? Getting the best from the student, right? Means from your teaching skills, you have to compel the student so that, he could learn. Teaching is causing to learn, right? So guys, you have to work on these behavior, right? Your job is not to finish the syllabus. They will finish the syllabus automatically, right? When you will start, you will start compelling the student, stimulating the learning power of the student. Okay. So basically, these are very much important. In the Bloom taxonomy, we will discuss in detail, right? So we are discussing the educational psychology here. So what is educational psychology? Okay, this is a unit 1, paper 1, unit 1, chapter 1 topic, educational psychology. From here, your syllabus starts, right? Educational psychology. So educational psychology, guys, basically it is a science of behavior and experience psychology, and education is the modifications of behavior. Educational psychology, basically, it is the branch of the psychology which deals with teaching and learning. Okay, which deals with the education process, which deals with the teaching learning process. Guys, you have to understand, my dear students, you have to understand our education system is a full of problems, right? There is a lot of problems of learners, problem of teacher, problem of curriculum, problem of syllabus, lot of problems. So when we solve the problem with the help of a psychology, okay, in order to remove that problem, this is called the educational psychology. So educational psychology deals with the learner's problem, syllabus problems, all the problems encounters during the teaching learning process. That's why it is said that if you don't have the knowledge of educational psychology, you can't teach effectively to the students. Always remember. That's why B.Ed or M.Ed has become the compulsory and mandatory for becoming the teacher and principal. Without B.Ed or M.Ed, how you can become the teacher and principal? You don't know how to teach to the student. So basically, if without having the knowledge of B.Ed or M.Ed, you are teaching to the student, actually, you are cheating to the student because you don't know. Okay. Because you don't know the method, You don't know the, teaching models. You don't know the, for example, I'm talking about the teaching. What is the teaching? Teaching does not mean looking from the book and pouring into the mind of the student. This is not teaching. Teaching means you have to work on the three domains of learning, right? Teaching means you have to stimulate the learning power of the student from your skills. How, from where you will get the skills? If you having the sound knowledge of psychology, educational philosophy, research attitude. Hana, if you have a research attitude and you have the teaching learning process, you have the knowledge of teaching learning process, you have the knowledge of a skill in teaching process. That's why, this all the, four papers are in your syllabus, in your M.Ed semester 1. The first is talks about the psychology, second talks about the education, third is also, and fourth is the research. Right, guys? Skinner has said that, you can see the one definition of Skinner. Skinner has said that psychology is that branch of a psychology. Sorry, educational psychology is that branch of psychology which deals with teaching and learning. Okay. So now what is the nature and characteristics of educational psychology? First, it is an applied branch of a fundamental psychology. Applied branch. So this is the important word, guys. What is the important word? Applied branch. Means it is an application applied. It works. It is not a kind of, theory and other things. Okay. It is an applied branch. Means education psychology provides the immediate solutions to the educational problem. Got it? Next, it is a science of behavior of the learner and the learning process in the learning situation. Kya baat hai? Right? It combines two fields, education and psychology. एक है ना, one in the syllabus, relationship between education and psychology. Right? This is actually second topic of unit 1. Right? Educational psychology. First is the relationship between education and psychology. And just, I have shown you the syllabus. So now it combines two field, education and psychology. What is the meaning of education? Education means modifications of the behavior of the student, and psychology means science of the behavior. So basically, education psychology means solving the educational problems, right? It deals with the learner and the learning process in the learning situations. Next, educational psychology is a scientific study of human behavior in educational situation. Guys, this is the most important. You don't have to forget, right? Educational psychology is the scientific study of human behavior, but in the educational settings, right? Means when the child comes in the school, what he thinks, okay? What he thinks about the teacher, okay? You don't have to dominate the class. You have to go according to the child, what the child is demanding. You being, if you have the knowledge of education psychology, you can observe the behavior of the student in the educational settings, and you can provide the same thing to the student. So it will become easy for the student to grasp it. Next, it is concerned with these factors, principle and techniques which relate to the various aspects of a child's growth and development. It is the application of a psychological principles to the field of education. Next, I add, line is written now. The last line, see that it is application of the psychological principle to the field of education. Next, I add that in order to remove the educational problems. Got it? That's why we learn the educational psychology, right? Now, what is the need and importance of educational psychology for the teachers or for the principals also? Okay. It offers strategies and method help the teacher to understand the student's psychology. The first line is very much important. The whole process of a B.Ed or M.Ed, if I ask from all of you, what is the crux of B.Ed or M.Ed? In a one line, in a one line is that to know the students first, to know the subject first. Well, if you don't know the student, if you don't know the subject means I'm not talking about English, Hindi, Punjabi, science and other subject. Okay. So guys, if, for example, if you are an expert in your subject, like in science, in mathematics, in psychology, in any of the subjects, you are more educated, you are more expert. Okay. And you know, if you have, and also you have a very much very good communications level, right? But these are not useful, okay, unless student grasp it fully, right? So whatever knowledge you have, what is the purpose of that knowledge? The purpose of that knowledge is that student should be grasped fully. This is the purpose. You know the concept, okay, I agree, you know the concept. But guys, you can't say that you can teach in that way, because teaching is a different from the whatever the knowledge you have. Teaching means pedagogy, delivery of the content. Okay, for example, what you have the knowledge of particular subject, you can't claim that this knowledge you can same transfer to the student. You can only transfer to the student if you have the knowledge of pedagogy. If you have the knowledge of these all things, B.Ed or M.Ed, B.Ed, M.Ed is a teaching methodology. We learn all the teaching methodology. So delivery of content is the most important. Okay. Rather, you having the more knowledge, you having the good communications level, you having the expertness in your field. The most important thing is that delivery of content. Irrespective, you have the less knowledge. Irrespective, you have the less expert in the particular field, but your pedagogy is strong. Your pedagogy should be strong. Pedagogy means delivery of content, right? Teaching learning style. Pedagogy means teaching learning styles. So next, it aids the teacher to study the ability, interest, intelligence, needs, and adopt different techniques of teaching for effective communications. Areva, absolutely correct. Second line is the most important. Importance of educational psychology for the teacher. All of you should know the ability, interest, intelligent growth, development, IQ level, memory level of the student. Deals with the topics such as learning, growth and development, intelligence, personality. Organize subject matters to determine how teaching can be made more effective, how education goals can be made more meaningful, to evaluate and influence the curriculum changes which may be needed to make learning more relevant to the cultural setting. And the last is to solve the learning problems and select suitable materials that relate to the student's background. So this is the purpose of educational psychology for the teacher. From that way, educational psychology helps the teacher. So guys, if you are going to the class, you don't have to you have to get aside your ego, and you have to teach to the student according to their level. Because whenever you go into the class is a miniature of society, right? In a class, there are some intelligent students, some average students, some below average student. You should have the knowledge to understand every mind. Then you can call yourself you are a good teacher or good principal, effective teacher and effective principal. Guys, these are the, my dear student, these are the skills. You should know it. Okay, what are the scope of educational psychology? Now there is a third topic in the syllabus. Okay, after this lecture, we'll see the syllabus. Okay, so this is the third scope of educational psychology. Whatever the human behavior, the learning experience, growth and development, heredity, teacher, personality, individual difference, intelligence, guidance and counseling. These 10 topics are of full-fledged topic. These 10 headings are in itself are the full-fledged topics. So this is the scope of educational psychology. Can you imagine? So everything is covering educational psychology, right? So you have to explain these all the 4 things in detail, because in the rest of the chapters of paper 1, we will discuss every topic in detail. We'll discuss in detail growth and development, personality, individual difference, intelligence. Okay. So that comes under scope of educational psychology. right? So thank you so much, guys, for this lecture, right? Immediately I start my, second lecture. Okay. So educational psychology, we are done. Next, I'm going to start growth and development, right? Under a unit one, the second part is the growth and development, right? So growth and development, directly I start with growth and development. So what is growth and what is development? So see that growth can be defined as the quantitative changes in an individual's body, such as change in size, weight, and height. So this is related with the growth, right? And also refers to the heart, brain, muscles, and other parts of the body in general, which can be measured. You can see the important lines I have underlined, and little bit size I have increased. Okay. For example, a growth of the child means the increase in weight, height, and different organs of the child's body. Right? Harlock has said that growth can be defined as a change in size, in proportion, disappearance of the old feature and acquisitions of a new one. So ultimately, when we conclude, so growth refers to increase in physical size of whole or any of its part, right? Which can be measured. These are the characteristics of growth. Growth involves all structural and physiological changes. Second is it is external and physical in nature. And you can see that, I have colored the main headings, main point. Third line is that it does not continue throughout the life. It stops at a certain age. Growth, abhi just we have discussed now, growth is related with the, size, weight. Okay. So size increases at a certain age now, not whole of the year, size increases. It stops at a particular age. So characteristics of a growth is that it stops at a certain age. It may or may not bring development. It is a quantitative progress. Quantitative means which can be measured. It is a part of development. Individual differences among children are due to growth. The rate of growth of different parts of the body is different. It can be measured. It influences the process of development, but not always. Right? So basically, growth is, understood to you. Hana? You have come to know about the growth. Now we discuss about the development. Guys, first of all, you have to understand development is a lifelong process. And development is a wider and comprehensive term than growth. It is a continuous process through which physical, emotional, and intellectual cognitive change occurs. Development, you can see that. It is a continuous process through which physical, emotional, and intellectual or cognitive changes occur. For example, development of a child means change in size, form, and functioning of various parts of the body of the child, as well as behavior that can be observed and assessed. Now, here the word is observed and assessed, not the measured. In the case of a growth you can measure, but development you can't measure because it is related with the behavior also. So behavior you can't measure, you can only observed. Right, guys? So according to the Skinner, development is a continuous and gradual process. Stevenson has said development is concerned with the study of changes in behavior through the lifespan. Next, we talk about characteristics of development. So characteristics of a development is it is overall and progressive change of an individual. Overall and progressive change of an individual. It is internal in nature. Growth was external in nature. Hana? Now, development is internal in nature. It is continuous process throughout life. It involves psychological changes within an individual. It is a qualitative. You have to remember on the growth, it was quantitative. Here it is a qualitative. Development includes growth. So this point is clear. Development is a bigger term, comprehensive term. It involves the growth. Development is influenced by maturations and learning. It is very much related to one's environment. It is a qualitative and hence can't be measured directly. Development occurs even without growth, right? ये guys, some are the difference, है ना? We have already, we have understood growth, we have understood development. Okay, so this question always comes, difference between growth and development, right? So, you can make from that way also. Okay, either you can define the growth, then you can define the development. Okay, है ना? You can put the line and you can define from that way also. Okay, the same thing is written, which we have just discussed. On the growth part, you can see that growth is a process of becoming larger or longer in the physical aspect. See on the development part, development side number 1, development is a process in which something changes in physical, social, and psychological aspect. Right? See the second point, growth. It comprises of height, weight, size, and shape of the body organs like brain, etc. See the second part of the development. It comprises not only physical changes, but cognitive, social, and emotional changes. Internal है ना? So that means development होगी, right? So these are all same point, growth and development. Okay. So if the difference comes, so you can write the difference from that way also. Or otherwise, first you can define the growth and then development, then difference. But if you write from that way, so it is more effective. Okay, guys. Now, what are the principles of growth and development? Okay, what are the principles? How they progress, right? Growth and development. So, number 1, growth and development are, the first principle is a principle of a continuity throughout life till death. Because both, and it is asking about the both. Growth can be stopped at a certain age, but development not. That's why the principle is, first siddhant kya hai? First principle is that principle of continuity. Second is principle of interrelations, right? So there is a interrelations. If mental development is above average, you can see the sum of the person, having the mental development is above the average, then is also superior in other aspect like health and sociability. Interrelations hai. People of individual difference, principle of a individual difference. Naturally, individual difference means difference in the persons. Even we have also studied in the psychology. Okay, no two persons are alike, even twins not. Okay, even twins having the different level of knowledge, thinking, taste, abilities, growth and development, right? So it is based upon principles of individual difference. Okay. Now, fourth is growth and development is a sequential process. All the psychology agree on that point. Sequential or orderly hai ye. Means suppose when the baby born, around 9 or 10 months now, he starts, walking, right? And some babies are 1 month later or 1 month clear. Okay. But it can't be now within a 3 months, the persons can, baby can start walking. Okay. So basically it is a sequential, in the majority, these are sequential. All psychologists agree on this point. Number 5th principle of a growth and development is it proceeds from general to specific. Okay. What is the meaning of that? Child will grasp an object with whole hand first before using only thumb and forefingers, means goes general to specific. From large muscle movement to the more refined smaller muscles movement. Okay. So first, there is a general to specific means every baby, first of all, large muscles movement, first, then after that, okay, the, smaller muscle movement, they become, expert in the smaller muscles later. So first of all, baby has to pick up any of the thing, he will pick up with the whole hand, right? And later on, he can put the object within the 2 finger also, or 1 thumb also. right? So this is a mean of general to specific. Growth and development is a predictable, always predictable during lifespan. We can see that development depends on maturations and learning. And eighth is it is a joint product of a both heredity and environment. Guys, this is important. Growth and development is a product of heredity and environment. Okay, you should understand that. Okay, so it depends upon the genes. Genes plays a very significant role in growth and development. Okay, so it might be, whatever the IQ level parents have, the same IQ level, baby have. If there is some variation, that variations comes due to the environment. Okay, but mostly heredity plays a very important role, very, very important role, right? So it is a joint product of a both heredity and environment. Okay, so all the points I have defined in the, in a detailed manner in my notes. Okay, here you have come to know about, little bit about, all the points. Okay, cleared, every point of principles of a growth and development, right, guys? So thank you so much. So two lectures we are discussed. Okay, one is educational psychology and one is growth and development. Okay, so immediately along with this, I start the third topic of Unit 1, adolescents' need and problems. Okay, so under this, we'll discuss meaning of adolescents and emotional, social developments among adolescents and need and problems of adolescents. Right, guys? So adolescents, basically, this word adolescence is derived from the Latin word adolescere. The meaning of adolescere is grow up. So adolescent is a transitional age of rapid physical and psychological human development. Generally occurs between childhood and adulthood. Adolescent is occurs between childhood and adulthood. Okay. This is a transitional age of a rapid physical and psychological human development. Transitional age of rapid physical and psychological human development. This you have to understand. In the next slide, the definition of a Stanley Hall. This is a very much important. Okay. And I expect you all have to learn it. Okay. In the B.Ed also, you have learned this. Stanley Hall has said that adolescent as a period of great strain and stress, storm and strife. You have seen now there is a lot of, stress, strain, storms are, inside among the adolescents. Okay. So they are, dealing with their problems, adolescents, because you are being teacher and principal, you are dealing directly with the adolescents. Okay. So you should know that, how you have to handle, because they are also dealing with such kind of a problems due to the, you know, development of, hormones development, right? Because in a we are done now. It is a what is a adolescent? Adolescence is a transitional age of a rapid physical and human development, right? So basically, there are main, adolescent is categorized into the three stages: early adolescent, 9 to 13, mid adolescent, 14 to 15, late adolescent, 16 to 19. So what happens in this stage? Under the first early adolescent, 9 to 13 years, this age is characterized by the spurt of growth and development of secondary sexual characteristics. Well, swiftly, these, develops. Mid-adolescents, 14 to 15, this stage is distinguished by the development of a separate identity from parents, new relationship with peer groups and the opposite sex, and experimentation. Guys, generally it happens in the age of a 14, 15, 16. Okay. The adolescent starts development of a separate identity. from the parents. He started developing a new relationships with peer groups, opposite sex and experimentations. Okay. And being teacher or a student, you think that they are not obeying you. Okay. So guys, you are not there to dominate the student. You are there to help the students, to help the adolescents, because they are already encountering, dealing with, such kind of a problems. On that stage, you have to become friend of the student. From that way, you have to teach. Late adolescent, 16 to 19, in this stage, adolescent have fully developed physical characteristics similar to adult and have formed a distinct identity and have well-formed opinion and ideas. Now, in this age, they will start giving the ideas, giving opinions. So you should appreciate these ideas and opinions. Although side by side, you should have the knowledge. Now they are not expert in the decision making. Okay, they are, they having the irrational thinking. Okay, but they adolescent will giving the ideas and opinions. You have to listen, right? You don't have to start any conflict with them. Okay, because psychology says that, right, in this age, they start such kind of uh, characteristics. Okay, now we discuss the emotional, social, cognitive characteristics of a or developments of the adolescents. So first we will discuss the emotional characteristics or developments. Okay, means adolescents, emotional developments of a adolescents or emotional characteristics of a adolescents. Okay, the number one is heightening of emotions. So you all are aware of that. You have undergone through this age. Guys, in this age, they develop the, heightening of emotions, love, anger, anxiety, fear. Okay. If they, love someone, they love very strongly. If they hate someone, they will hate very strongly. Right? Heightening of emotions, mood swinging. So they fluctuate their moods, feelings very frequently. Malam in a 1 minute, they are talking about they are up in the clouds, and the next he is in the depth of despair. Okay. So this is a, you should know that. In this age, it happens. Okay. And sometimes, teacher starts, conflicting with the student. Emotional unstable. They are emotional unstable on this age. Emotions are not under control. They outburst of temper. Often we have noticed not tolerate over strictness of parents and teachers. So here in this age, you can only, teach to the student by giving a love, by giving respect, by, appreciating their opinion. So that's why now it is called, you have to teach according to the knowledge level, intelligence, mental level of the student, according to their will of the student. So that's why now teaching is called the, child-centered activity. This is called the reflective level of a teaching. What is a reflective level of a teaching? Now there are three level of teaching. One is a memory level. Second is understanding level. Third is a reflective level of a teaching. The purpose of a B.Ed or M.Ed to reach up to the reflective level of a teaching. Reflective level of a teaching is called the introspective level of a teaching and child-centered teaching. Right? So when you teach on the memory level of a teaching, right? So there is a loss of students. So guys, always remember, student is never ever weak. Okay? Weak is always teacher or principal. Always remember. I'm not talking about personally. I'm talking about the weak point can be teaching method of the teacher or principal. The weak point can be, knowledge. The weak point can be they didn't develop the, skills. The weak point can be behavior of the teacher or principal, right? Student is never ever weak. I'm not saying, research says that, right? Psychology, these all things, says that, you know, you are the persons. By teaching to the students, there should be a, changes in the behavior of the student. So they are the emotional unstable. Guys, if you don't know, in this age, they are emotional, unstable. Hana, you start conflicting with the student. It means you don't have the knowledge of this educational psychology and, such kind of a developments. Okay. If you have the knowledge, then you can deal with the students in another way, right? So that's why it is in our syllabus, B.Ed or M.Ed. It is a teaching methodology. By, doing the B.Ed or M.Ed, that's only then one can become the effective teacher or administrator. Administrator means principal. Fifth is more sensitive and sense of belonging, expressing emotions, irrational thinking, changes in attitude and interest. Hai. So these are all emotional characteristics, right, guys? Next, we talk about the social characteristics or development of adolescents. What are the social? Building relationships. Hana, you know that, adolescent starts in this age building the relationships, okay? Contacts in they become the member of any group and others. Social interest, they start showing the social interest, okay, in the parties, celebrations, okay? Sexual maturity, they gain the sexual maturity, seeking social approval. So they want that they should be respected by, they should be praised by their parents, teachers, friends. Spirit of a selfless service. So they start, giving the selfless service. You have seen, in the adolescent age, group loyalty, searching for identity, peer pressure, looking for new experience, thinking more about right and wrong. These all things, they develop. These are called the social characteristics or development of a adolescents. So under the adolescents, we are done with the adolescents. Okay, what is adolescents? Definition of adolescents. Then emotional developments or characteristics of adolescents. Then social characteristics or development of adolescents. The last topic we do that. The subtopic of under this topic, adolescents, need and problems of adolescents. Right. So what are the need and problems of a adolescents? ओके कॉग्निटिव इट वाज कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट रह गया था कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट ऑफ एडोलेसेंट्स क्या है डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ए इंटेलिजेंस सो इन दिस एज यू नो इंटेलिजेंस reaches maximum. They develop the abstract thinking, they develop the imagination, capacity to concentrate, development of logic, interest, experiential learning. What is experiential learning? Ability to compare old and new information, learn from the experience. This is called the experiential learning, right? Reflect on the experience, called the experiential learning. When the experiential learning comes, Dr. Cobb, you should know the name of Dr. Cobb, right? So he gave the concept of a experiential learning. Ability of decision making, problem solving ability, so and maximum development of intelligence. Basically they gain these all things during this age, and these are called cognitive development or characteristics of adolescents. Okay, so in last we discussed need and problems of adolescents. So guys, see, these all the points. Okay, they need, and every adolescent needs the love, needs for security, needs for freedom and independence, need for self expression and achievement, need for recognition and approval. ये आ गया ना उसमें social characteristics of adolescents, right? Need for social life, adjustment problem, adjustment difficulty with school discipline, financial problem, friendship problem, sex problem, physical problem, childhood and adulthood conflict. So there is a lot of childhood and adulthood conflict, huh? Because now in this age, there's something, they think that they have the full-fledged knowledge. Okay, whatever the decision they are going to take, it would be the correct. Okay, so these all the, these are the needs and problems of adolescents. Every point you have to explain in 5 or 6 lines. Okay, so this question always comes related from the growth and development or the adolescents in the unit 1. So okay guys, thank you so much for this lecture, right? So now we see the syllabus. In the syllabus we are done with. So paper 1 we are done. The next Sunday we will two lecture we will done from paper 1 and two lectures from the paper 4. Okay, so you can see that from this, right? Psychology of learning and development, this is your syllabus. So today we discussed, okay, whatever we have discussed, we will underline it and color as a red. Meaning and concept of education psychology, right? Scope of education psychology, right? Then general principle of a growth and development, okay? And then social development and emotional development and intellectual, right? Cognitive development and intellectual. Physical is, next we'll discuss the physical also, right, guys? So this we are done, right? So thank you so much for the lectures. You will also get the notes on my Telegram channel, or I will send you. So tomorrow you will get the link of this video also, right, guys? So thank you so much once again.